I think there's a lot of times and scenarios where we do bring that, bring a ton of value, and the clients, a lot of them love that, and that's why they come to us, and that's why they're there. A lot of them just actually want to have the lowest possible monthly rate. So part of what we can do is a filter in our discovery call and say, "Okay, what is it that you actually want? Do you want to build a portfolio? And do you want to have the best strategy, or do you simply want to get the lowest rate today? Are you coming to us because you want the lowest possible rate?" And if they're like, "You know what? I don't actually care about strategy. I don't care about portfolio properties. I don't care about these things. I just want to pay the least amount of money possible." Then we're still going to do our budget. We're going to still do all those things, but we're going to just say, "You know what? Here's your 5-year fix. It's going to get the buy down with it if they need to compete on rate, and they'll get the best 5-year fixed out there, and they'll be happy with that low rate." And we'll give them kind of the disclaimer that why we think there's better options out there, but based on your sentiment that you only care about rate, this is the best rate, and that's gonna be super competitive. It'll be hard for the banks to hit back at, and then you have the wiggle room on the commission you get paid for some of these lenders with the volume bonus and everything you're getting. You have the room that if you need to create your own cash back to combat someone's flight points at a branch or buy someone an iPad or whatever the hell the bank comes up with next, you can do some of these things. And do I think it's the best way long term? No, but you have to figure out a way to still hunt and to still kill. And in a world where people are just kind of walking for 12 bucks a month here and there, if that's the kind of people, that's the kind of service and product they're gonna get.
Yeah, and obviously the gross and net commissions at the end of the year doing that strategy is going to be a lot lower, but it's going to be a short term thing. Like our mindset right now is just to cast a net, bring in as many closed clients as possible. They're in our world. I'm hesitant on saying we can get them at the renewal because a lot of people say like, oh, you get them for the 2 3 year fix. That's fine. You're getting half the commission, but you can get them at renewal. But I would love to see a stat out there, like how often you can actually get a client at renewal and switch them to a new lender. Like banks are being super aggressive with renewals, especially this year, knowing that there's less purchases. These banks are going to be way more aggressive with rates. So I know there's strategies out there. There's ways to pitch clients as to why you should switch to lender A, X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, deep down, if you know that lender is best off for that client, then just move on to the next deal. That's my mindset going forward. I just want to capture as many closed deals as possible this year. And then whether we get that client a renewal or whether they buy another property or whether they refer out a family friend or anyone that they know, it's just going to build out those future referrals in my eyes.
Exactly, and when we're saying this, we're not saying, like, we're dropping the service level for clients. We're just saying, like, so often, and I think, like, probably you're the same and a lot of brokers are the same, that certain times we're telling people, "Okay, this is why a 3-year fix makes sense," or, "This is why product X makes sense for you." And we're explaining, yes, the rate's a little bit higher, but this is why it's better for you long term. And a lot of people really value that because they care about service, they care about the long term paying less money, they care about those things. There's a whole other cohort of people who price compare everything in their life, and all they care about is saving money today. And you're not going to change the way they view things, and stop trying to.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. Like,
Yeah.
stop trying to force it.
The idea that you think you're doing the best job by doing that, and sure, you are, but you're trying to project your belief onto their belief system, which is just different than yours. So recognize that, identify it in the discovery call, and then for those people, give them the best 5-year fix you can.
The one last thing I'll add to this, and this is a bit controversial, but I see all the time people in the mortgage space ranting, like saying, like, "Hey, you know that bank's going to have a higher IRD penalty than this lender over here. Like, you got to pitch them that way." And I get that. I 100% agree. But they're discounting the fact that that bank has a really good blend extend feature that can avoid those penalties, and their reporting features are most likely better than these other lenders who are more fair penalty lenders. So I like to take both sides and not just be like one sided because I think it is what's best for the client. And I don't want to force something and then last second lose out on the deal and waste my time and our team's time. So that's how I look at it. I don't know if you're the same or not, but I see that all the time in groups talking about penalty.
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing is educating clients so that they make the best decision. We're not projecting decisions on people. Like, we're not saying you have to do this or anything like that. We make recommendations or we say this is what we would do in your scenario, but this option exists and you pick. At the end of the day, we advise, client chooses. That's just how it works. But that being said, what we advise on and the amount of depth and detail we go on for certain clients, if they just care about rate, we'll give them a rate and that's that. If they want to have future education, there's our Canadian Mortgage Guide channel, which we share with clients, and that has tons of detail as to why we recommend certain things. So the people who actually care and want to go deep on things, they can go deep on it, and we will go deep on it with them. But the ones who are surface level, just dollars, they're going to just get what they want.